Hello and welcome to another episode of Simuleos. One second, I'm so sorry for this something embarrassing scene. Let me just, I'm checking. See, that's the thing. The volume's just. I'm trying to get the volume right, and I think this is what I want. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, I think this is where I want to go. Okay, cool. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Simuleos C252 Trash Talk. Thanks for coming in. If you guys hear anything wrong with the microphone settings, like if it's railing, which means my voice is getting too loud. And it just sounds weird, let me know. Also, I'm going to write down soap on a sticky note. I'm going to put that somewhere that I'm going to remember to look at. Because I need to remember to... Oh, I also need to remember to export my stream for today. Did I already do that? I don't remember. I have too many sticky notes around. I think I can get rid of this one. Right. I'll just put this over here. Cool. So, as you guys know, I'm taking a trip to Alabama Sunday. I'll be leaving Sunday morning, my time. So, I need to get this video done basically today and tomorrow. So, I've got a lot of work to do until then, and we'll cover a lot of that work here on stream. But my parents have a, they always buy cheap soap, which is fine. It's fine. But I've been using a different type of moisturizing soap that I've kind of gotten used to, so I wanted to buy it. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Let's see. I'm right. Oh, you're from Alabama. Hey, how are you? So my parents live along Lake Martin, so I figured it's probably better to be in Lake House, than in. Okay, first of all, in terms of social isolation, the way I see it is, it's pretty good to be in a lake house. It's hard to be more socially isolated than that. Plus, I won't have noisy neighbors, so I just want a month or two of just reprieve, from this situation I'm in, and then we'll see. I think I can actually get out of this apartment a bit sooner than I thought initially, so I could probably get out of this apartment as soon as August. And if I do so, I will I'll try to find a good place that has better sound quality when I go. So we'll see. Bowmaster Flax, my folks made me isolate in Killen, Alabama, which is similarly sparse. Right. Is analysis real analysis or calculus? All exams are open book from the home. That's nice. Right. So I think I've caught up on chat. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, feel free to let me know, and I will totally address it as soon as I see it in chat. Now today, we are going to start actually by opening up the algorithm archive article that I have so far and editing it up to a certain point, because there is one point that I actually think I do not understand with this algorithm that I thought I did, but looking at it again, I'm actually not convinced I do understand the part that I thought I understood. So we're going to get to that point pretty quickly, because I have an idea, but I need to think about it. But I need it to just kind of, just churn a bit in my mind just to figure out if this is actually what the problem is. So we're going to read through the algorithm archive article as I have it written right now. I'll go ahead and create some visualizations for it, and we'll see where we're going. So let me cd, let's just do it here. So cd into projects algorithm archive over here, and we're going to cd into projects algorithm archive over here, and we're going to cd into contents in the computus here. Right. And obviously, as I'm reading through this, if you guys have anything that you want to talk about, if you're interested in anything that we're talking about, I would very much like for you to let me know any comments you have, because this will be going in the algorithm archive. I kind of like the idea of doing a read aloud algorithm archive revision stream every week or whenever we put new content in. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Just some standard high school classes, and then abstract algebra 2 mechanics, and I'm doing a bit of analysis on the side with my professor. It's so weird. It's weird that you have a professor in high school, The analysis isn't for credit, though. Okay, so let's do git book serve. Get up a version of the algorithm archive, and we'll just go ahead and start reading. I don't know what to expect of this stream. I'm not going to say it's going to be the most entertaining stream of all time, but we'll get stuff done, and I'm pretty excited about that. So let's go ahead and grab this HTTP link. Oh, well, that'll do. Put it over here, and we'll see how this goes. Here's the Arcane Algorithm Archive splash screen. Go to Computus. Okay. This particular, it has no images yet. I have to add in the images and stuff like that. but it's mostly there. We have most of the stuff there. So let's just go ahead and get started. If you haven't been here for any of the previous streams in the past week or two, we are working on the Easter algorithm, also known as Computus. This is a method for people to calculate the date of Easter. It doesn't sound particularly complicated, but actually it can be. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, guys, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, let me know. I'm going to be revising this as I'm reading it, so I'll be looking out for typos and stuff like that, and then I'll run an A spell. We'll get this done. Haven't graduated high school quite yet. Yeah, so I think I know the type of stuff that you're doing, where you're kind of half in college and half not. I'm actually, I don't know. I'm actually really proud of a lot of people in this community. It's such a cool group of people. Okay, so let's go. The Easter algorithm, Computus. Though the word Computus can technically describe, I already screwed up. Though the word Computus can technically describe, yep, let's go ahead and fix that one. Can technically describe, change that to this. Okay, though the word Computus can technically describe any sort of computation, or else a set of medieval tables for calculating various astrological events, it is also one of the most common historical names for the calculation of the Christian holiday of the Easter every year. Nominally, Easter happens on the Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox. Well, we'll modify that as well. Easter happens the Sunday after the first full moon. We'll say, the Sunday, no, that's right. Easter happens the Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox, roughly March 21st. Fine, fair enough. This particular full moon is known by a number of names, such as the pink strawberry moon, hunter's moon, snow moon along, the pink strawberry moon, hunter's moon, snow moon, along with several others. The most common name for it is the Paschal full moon, which I think I'm going to capitalize Paschal. So let's go ahead and capitalize that. And any other time, should we capitalize it or lowercase? I'm not really sure. I have graphics next semester, so expect some screenshots of shader mishaps. Mishaps. Dude, I need to learn more about graphics. I just don't. Let's see. Maybe we should have it lowercase. Yeah, let's do it lowercase. Okay. Next. Okay, so it's all lowercase. Okay. The most common name for it is the Paschal full moon, which translates to Passover in Greek and signifies an important Jewish festival. Jeez, already, all the typos. Okay. We'll let this rebuild, and then we'll keep going. Again, if I say anything or if there's anything here that you think could be done better, let me know, and I'll try to, incorporate what you guys are saying into the work. So for the first few centuries, the date of Easter each year was dictated by the Pope. However, after that point, I shouldn't say after that point. After a while, after the church grew, it was no longer straightforward to communicate this date to all of Christendom. There we go. As such, the church did what they could to algorithmically generate tables for clergy to determine the date of Easter each year. To this day, the calculation of Easter still poses a problem, with Western and Eastern Orthodox churches celebrating on different dates approximately 50% of the time. I'll be honest, there's a lot of good Christian drama surrounding the calculation of this event, and it's remarkably interesting to read about it. Suffice it to say that the date of Easter bamboozled many historical scholars, with at least one algorithm appearing in the early archives of the now famous Scientific Journal for Nature. The calculation was so complicated for the first time that even Frederick Gauss was so complicated. Let's see. I should remove for the first time. So the calculation was so complicated that even Frederick Gauss had to try his hand at it and failed before being corrected by one of his students. Ooh, this is going to be a rough stream, isn't it? Okay. Let's see. As strange as this might seem, the development of the Gregorian calendar, which is currently the most used calendar in the worldwide, was prompted specifically to make the calculation of Easter earlier. That's actually not not a true statement. I don't think. I don't have the justification for that statement, so I'm going to remove it. As an important note, because Easter depends on the lunar cycle, it is static in the lunar calendar. In this way, it's not static in the lunar calendar. That's not true. Let's see. Because Easter depends on the lunar cycle, the date of the Paschal full moon is static in the lunar calendar. And this way, computus is the act of mapping a lunar cycle onto annual calendars, and we'll call that solar calendar, onto the Gregorian solar calendar everyone knows and loves. At the time, the question was, which annual calendar do we map it to, the Julian calendar or the Gregorian calendar? Let's say, a while back, there was a natural question. I need to rephrase this. Let me go ahead and catch up on chat. Let's see. Hey, Crophead, how are you? Let's see. Are you studying math or CS? Both. I couldn't choose. You probably have enough info to figure out who I am, which is interesting. Wait. I guess everyone then has enough information, right? You can narrow it down to like 5 people. So if you're really bored, I hereby give permission. Sorry, I don't mean to pry personal info. No, this is all my fault. I have control over the things I share, but I don't mind that much. It's kind of like, I didn't mind that much sharing a lot of personal information when I was in OIST, but now that I'm in Boston, I'm kind of more afraid to share personal information. I don't know if that's fair or not, but I certainly don't want, like, now I feel there are repercussions for people knowing my exact address. Before, I didn't think that was true. In this way, computus is the act of mapping a lunar cycle. Let's see. In the because many different calendar have existed throughout the history of mankind, I guess. Let's say throughout history. Let's see. So because many different calendar systems have existed throughout history, there was a natural question as to which calendar system would be used to calculate the precise date of Easter. Let's see. The Western churches. Let's see. The Western churches chose the Gregorian calendar. Chose the Gregorian calendar. And the Eastern chose Julian. Fair enough. I think Julian should be capitalized, but since I'm lowercase and Gregorian, I guess we'll keep lowercase Gregorian for now. The Gregorian calendar more accurately represents the true date of the Paschal full moon. Paschal full, it's crap. However, this is one reason why Western and Eastern churches sometimes celebrate on different dates. Though there are many methods to calculate Easter, for now we'll focus only on Gauss's algorithm. However, we'll certainly come back in subsequent years to incorporate other Easter algorithms. These algorithms are some of my favorite gems in the history of algorithm design, because of all the drama surrounding the calculation of something that seems trivial. Seems trivial. After all, how hard could it be to calculate Easter? Okay. Oh, that was a really rough intro, wasn't it? I was there. A history of astronomy stream I missed. Yeah, so a few streams back we did this. Let's see. You probably can get my exact address. I have so. You have so what? My name is on my GitHub, but my face is not anywhere. Let's see. The only safety I used to have was Google Maps giving you the wrong street if you tried to look for my address. But that has fixed recently. So the thing is, like, the only reason I'm kind of worried about it is because technically, some people do this stupid thing to streamers where they SWAT the streamer. You know, like they have a SWAT team come in and like, you know, basically shoot up the place. And I'm terrified of that happening. I know it's not going to happen, but it's kind of like one of those situations where if you can easily prevent something by like just not sharing information, then just don't share the information, right? Okay. So we're on the next section now. So Gauss is known for a lot of things. Gaussian elimination, the Cooley-Tukey method before Cooley-Tukey even existed, Gauss's law for electromagnetism, etc. One thing he is not particularly well known for is an algorithm he devised in 1800, which was later corrected by his student Peter Paul Tittle in 1816. In fact, there were a series of publications from Gauss in this era all related to the precise date of Easter. The legend goes that Gauss actually didn't know his real birthday. There we go. The legend goes that Gauss did not know his actual birthday in the Gregorian calendar and used the same algorithm to determine it. Apparently, his mother only told him that he was born on a Wednesday 8 days before Ascension Day in 1777, corresponding to April 30th. Okay, so let me just fix this. So I agreed to lowercase all the Gregs. I mean, again, probably not the best decision, but it's what I went with. So we're just going to lowercase all the Gregs here. See, now I'm really thinking I should have the Gregs uppercased. Yeah, I probably should have uppercased them, but that's okay. Let's just go back and pretend I know what I'm talking about. Let's go up here. Hey, Amaris, how are you? And let's keep going. Okay. So let's see. I ended with the sentence. Apparently, his mother only told him. Oh my gosh, why am I so bad at this? Literally everything is screwed up. Apparently, his mother only told him that he was born on a Wednesday 8 days before Ascension Day in 1777, corresponding to April 30th. Which corresponds to? Is what I want to do. Corresponds. And let's go here. Which. Which corresponds to April 30th. Let me go ahead and catch up on chat here. Have you seen Germany on Google, Crophead? There's almost no street view. Huh, interesting. Is this a discussion about information privacy? There's a bit of a discussion about that in chat, yeah. Kind of, I suppose. The thing is, even if you have my address, it would be almost impossible to find unless you knew the area, because all the roads are dirt and there's almost zero road signs. Every time you talk about where you're from, C252, I feel like it's way more rural than I thought it was. Personally, I think it's going to be pretty hard to find, hard these days, to not release any personal identifying information. But it's fine so long as you're smart about it. Right, I mean, everyone knows my name. Everyone knows I got a PhD from Voice. Everyone knows a lot of stuff about me. They know, even know they can easily find my primary email address just by going to GitHub. I guess that's fair. But I am kind of cautious to give away my address. That's the one thing I'm very cautious to give away. I guess both are based on the proper names. Why are you making Gregorian lowercase? I'm pretty sure they should be capitalized. I mean, I can do... Okay, we can capitalize it. That's fine. Greg. We'll capitalize them all. That's fine. And then I'll capitalize all the Julians as well. Okay, I think... Yep, I think they're all... Okay. Julian will be here. I just used it once. Cool. Okay, so now they're all capitalized again. Okay, so honestly, Gauss's Easter algorithm was a 19th century equivalent of undocumented code. I could imagine Gauss grumpily patching his method when users complained that it didn't work on the dates past 4200 or certain dates within his own era. Some of his compatriots, such as Jean Lambert or Jean-Joseph de Lambert, whatever, expressed their concern over the method's performance. Let me fix that. Some of that's really messed up. Some. Okay, so we'll say some of his compatriots. We'll say when. When some of his compatriots express their concern over the method's performance, Gauss replied by saying, "The investigation by which the formula is found is based on higher arithmetic, for which I presumably cannot refer to any publication," which was a 19th century equivalent of saying, "You're too dumb to understand my genius." I have definitely met a few fledgling programmers who feel the same, but none of them were anywhere near as prolific as Gauss. One of the most important fans of Gauss's work was Servoy, and again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but whatever, who created a calendar based on Gauss's 1800 publication as shown below. We have to create the table, but we'll get there. This calendar shows the date of the Paschal full moon, indicating that Easter will be the following Sunday. In this table, a value greater than 22 indicates the full moon will be on the presented number in March, and a value less than 22 indicates the full moon will be on that date in April. Okay. Admittedly, the notion is a bit funky. Admittedly, the notation is a bit funky, but it was 1813. Times were different then. The task for this chapter will be to explain, to the best of my abilities, how one would go about using Gauss's Easter algorithm to calculate the date of Easter for any given year within the limitations of the algorithm. Okay? Not so bad. It's named after Pope Gregory the, 12th? So technically you should capitalize it. Okay, it's all capital. I can just wait at your university and follow you home. If I didn't share any of my personal information, it would be hard to have a conversation online. It can be done, but it's too much work. Right. It's doable, but admittedly hard. Let's see. Pseudonyms are key here. If I can avoid it, I will never use my real name online, that is. Servoy is French. Servois. Gotta go. CSC52, thanks so much for coming in. As long as you avoid associating an online handle with your real name and avoid associating it with anything that can be traced to anything associated with your real name, it's going to be hard to suss that out. Right, so for me personally, I know some people's real name. Like, I definitely do. Like, I know a handful of people's real name here on stream, and they don't mind going by their real name. But personally, I still go by people's moniker that they present. You know, C252, I know his full name, or at least his first name, but he's C252, you know? And that's true for a lot of people on GitHub. I know a lot of people's actual name. And some people who tried to keep their name secret, I actually do know their full name for other reasons, right? But I am adamant that I will not use people's full name, at least not on stream. And I do my best not to do it. When talking online either. Because if you're presenting yourself as Trash Talk, as C252, as whatever, I feel like that's what I should call you. Because that's the name that you're willing to go by. You know what I mean? So I know some people kind of got mad at me at some point because I wasn't using their full name. Look, they were like, "Hey, you know my name is X. Why don't you use X?" And I'm like, "Look, I know your name's X, and I know you call me James, and that's fine. But that's because I present myself as James. You don't openly present yourself as X, whatever that name is. And even if you do, I kind of want to put a blanket statement out and say that, hey, you know, you're this name. That's the name I'm going to call you, just because it's easier for everyone to follow the conversation as well. So when it comes to GitHub, I use a completely different handle. Tom is also fine, but not my real name. Fake names are fun. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about also going by a fake name, but I don't know, it never really stuck. Let me write this, and now we're going to move on to the next bit, which is a bit where I actually need some of your help, guys. So, this is going to be confusing. Making the association in private conversation is fine, but if it's public, I avoid doing so. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing, but also in private, I do the same thing. I even go as far as to mask people's gender, which sounds a bit weird, but like, for example, if I know someone's a girl, or a guy, I tend to just call them they. You know, everyone's a they to me. It's all like, because I just don't like providing identifying information. Like, even when I talk about my girlfriend, who I now refer to as my girlfriend, I used to refer to her as my significant other, and I would say they, and all of this kind of stuff. I would never actually say this person is a girl, and that I would never actually say that this person goes by she, like, just because I was so used to saying they're doing fine. And I was so used to doing this that I would do this in conversations with people in real life. So it's like, so I'd say things like, yeah, the person I'm dating is, yada, yada, yada. And then I'd say, yeah, they're really cool, yada, yada. So, like, I would never say she, or I suppose he, but I would never say she, right? And so people were always just constantly questioning whether this person was a guy or a girl, and they had no idea. And I thought it was kind of fun, but, you know, like, nowadays I'm trying to make it clear, you know, like, At least then people aren't questioning my sexual identity. But even then, like, fine, they can question all they want. I don't care. It's practically impossible to avoid social engineering. So the best you can do is prevent that information, chaotic bisexual energy. Usually I just use their pseudonyms, even in private, even when I know their name. I do the same. I don't know. That's what I do. Okay, so let's go on to the next bit. We've covered the background. I didn't like the... Okay, Gauss's Easter algorithm history I liked a lot. Let's now go to the background, and the part I'm going to actually need help with is this part, the algorithm in here. So let's go to the background. And again, there's some images, but we'll add the images in next. So we're going to read through the text, and then we'll add in the images next. Because Easter is the Sunday following the Paschal full moon, which is the first full moon of spring, Gauss's algorithm is composed of two parts. 1, finding the Gregorian date of the Paschal full moon, and 2, finding the following Sunday. To start, we need to discuss the interactions between the Gregorian solar and lunar calendars. The Gregorian solar calendar can be created to... has been created, to mark the Earth's full revolution around the Sun, which is approximately 365.2425 days. Unfortunately, days are based on the Earth's rotation about its axis, not the revolution around the Sun. So the number of days in a year is not an integer number, 365, such as 365. 365. Okay. Yep. Such as 365. Okay. This discrepancy has actually led to a large number of calendar systems, including one invented by Gauss himself. Before the Gregorian calendar, there was a correction made to the old Roman calendar to be 365.25 days, creating the Julian calendar. From there, the Julian calendar was further corrected to the Gregorian calendar with 365.2425 days. Fine. I mean, I feel like I used that approximation too much. Whatever. Though there's a small change necessary to use Gauss's Easter algorithm for the Julian calendar, this will not be covered here. However, if you want to see this, we can add it in upon request. To account for the non-integer nature of the Gregorian year, a leap day is celebrated on February 29th every 4 years, with the exception of when the year is a multiple of 100, where no leap day is observed. If the year is divisible by 400, however, a leap day is still observed. This means that every 400 years, there are 97 leap days. This is why a leap day was celebrated in 2020. That is incorrect. 2020 and 2000, correct. But it was not celebrated in 1900. There we go. That is correct. If at this point you feel like the calendar system you know and love is held together by duct tape and string, you would be right. In addition to the solar year, Gauss's Easter algorithm also needs to keep the lunar year into account. A lunar month corresponds to the time it takes. Misspelled takes. Let's try that one again. Tax. And again, I'll do a spell check, but I'll fix what I can. Okay. Let me catch up on chat. Usually I just use their pseudonyms. I do rename myself in Discord servers with IRL friends because it can otherwise be confusing. Are you going to mention the Gaussian year? You capitalize the if after the semicolon there. I didn't. I just mentioned that the Gaussian year existed. Yeah, let's fix that. If. Oh, no, that's not the right if. Let's try that one again. This one. Okay. Thanks for that, Zedison. Appreciate it. Demnoid, thank you so much for following. Really appreciate it. Okay. So what are we going to do here? Right. So if at this point you feel like the calendar system you know and love was held together by duct tape and string, you'd be right. In addition to the solar year, Gauss's Easter algorithm also needs to keep the lunar year into account. A lunar month corresponds to the time it takes the moon to complete one full revolution around the Earth. In most cases, this is approximately 27.5 days. That said, space is complicated, and the moon is not the only revolving body. Lunar phases are related to the time it takes for the moon to return to its location in relation to the line connecting the sun and the Earth, as shown below. This is called the synodic month, which will be the approximation used for this chapter. A pictorial representation of this can be seen below. I guess I should... I don't need that. I can remove that sentence. Because I already said as shown below here. So let's just DD there. Okay. I only use my real name on my Union classes Discord servers. Otherwise, I go with Amras or whatever my pseudonym is now. Might want to remove the line breaks too, actually. Which line breaks? You mean this line break here? Wait. What do you mean line break? I semicolon plus line break plus lowercase. Oh, in the source code? Yeah, I probably could. I like to have a line break between each sentence. So probably what happened was, this, yeah. I can just fix this here. Paste it there. I think it's just clearer for me if each sentence has its own line. Okay. So I had an image of 6 synodic months that we worked on yesterday. So that image is ready to go. It's just a matter of putting it in. So, I didn't write that section. Let's add that section. So here we show an outline of the Earth and Moon in their original positions, with an angle, let's say, of negative pi over 4. How am I going to do this? I guess it's going to be frac pi over 4. We'll put a negative here. So let's see. Here we show an outline of the Earth and Moon, their original positions, with an angle of each with an angle of pi over 4 from their what body are we talking about here? Rotational, revolutional? From the body, their gravitational body? I don't know what to call it. It's probably capitalization should happen. Also, should Earth be capitalized? If so, should Moon be as well? Right, I think, yeah, probably. So Earth should be capitalized if and only if it's the name. Yeah, celestial body. We'll say that. I guess. So here we show an outline of the Earth and Moon in their original positions, each with an angle of negative pi over 4 from their... I don't know if celestial body makes sense, because basically we're going to show the Earth, and then we're going to show outlines here, and here, right? Or I guess here and here for you. It's from the body that they are... yeah, from the horizontal axis is actually correct. In addition, we show where the sun, where the moon and Earth. I'll capitalize all these guys later. I'm a writer. I have no scientific idea what I'm suggesting. That's okay. Keep in mind that all this is relative, and what was produced, and was what produced the whole sidereal versus synodic issue. Right. I agree. That's why I want to mention it. Like, I specifically need to mention this. Here we show that the moon and Earth. Here we show that the moon. In addition, we show the location of the moon and Earth. Again, after 6 synodic months. In both positions. Let's see. The moon is hidden. We'll say behind the Earth, creating a new moon phase. In this way, the synodic month is the time it takes to for the moon to return to its phase, which means it takes slightly longer than one full revolution, which means it is a time for the moon to revolve around the Earth oh my gosh, Earth, and an additional angle, an additional amount to take into account. I don't know how to write this. I'm to take into account how far the Earth has traveled around the sun. I need to think about how to write that, and also I need to capitalize everything. Let's see. There was something. Hello, PhD community. Age, thank you so much for following. Really appreciate it. So we show the location of the moon and the Earth again. In addition, we show the location. Correct. Thank you. Okay, so let me reread this because this doesn't make any sense what I just wrote. It might be better to just write, the synodic month is the time it takes for the moon to return to its original position relative to the line passing through the Earth and Sun. That's down here. Wait. In addition, we show the location of the moon and Earth again. Wait, so I said lunar phases are related to the time it takes for the moon to return its location. That's actually incorrect. That said, space is complicated. Certain lunar phases. No, this is correct. Lunar phases, actually. That is correct. But not the lunar, yeah, okay. Lunar phases are related to the time it takes for the moon to return to its location in relation to the line connecting the sun and the Earth. Right, so I wrote that here on top. And so then we say, here we show an outline of the Earth and the moon in their original positions in, well, we'll just say some initial position. An arbitrary initial position, each with an angle of negative pi from the pi over 4 from the. Also, you wrote its phase. Thanks. Okay, so let me read this section, see if this makes sense. So here we show an outline of the Earth and Moon in an arbitrary initial position, each with an angle of negative pi over 4 from the horizontal axis. In addition, we show the location of the Moon and Earth again after 6 synodic months. In both positions, the Moon is hidden behind the Earth, creating a new Moon phase. In this way, the synodic month is the time it takes for the Moon to return to some chosen phase, which means it is the time it takes for the moon to revolve around the Earth, and an additional amount, which means it is the time it takes for the moon to revolve around the Earth plus, how do I put this? So in this way, the synodic month is the time it takes for the moon to return to its, oh, that's not correct. Let's try this one again. Return to some chosen phase, which means that it is the time it takes for the moon to revolve around the Earth and an additional amount to take into account how far the Earth has traveled around the sun. New moon is the time between the moon. Wait, new moon is the time when the moon is between the Earth and the sun. Right. Wait, no, what? Oh, right, this would be a full moon. You're correct. Creating a full moon phase. Yep, you're right. In this way, the synodic month is the time it takes for the moon to return to some chosen phase. Actually, I think this is obvious. I already wrote up here, lunar phases are related to the time it takes for the moon. So I'm just going to say here, which $, which is slightly longer than the time it takes to revolve around the Earth and return to the same angle here. Pi. 1 second. Over 4. Something like that, maybe? Let's see. So here, in this way, the synodic month is the time it takes for the moon to return to some chosen phase, which is slightly longer than the time it takes to revolve around the Earth and return to the same angle. Here, pi over 4. Let's see. Its phase, the time between two instances of the same phase. Yeah, that's better. To return to the time between, yeah. is the time between two instances of the same. Yeah, that's good. Two consecutive phases. Yeah, I like that. Synodic is the time between two. Oh, is that true? Yeah, I think two consecutive phases. Yeah, that's fine. So it'd be negative pi over 4. Not sure why I see the closing. That'd be negative pi over 4. Yep, correct. Okay. So let me read this. Here we show an outline of the Earth and Moon in an arbitrary initial position, each with the angle of negative pi over 4 from the horizontal axis. In addition, we show the location of the Moon and Earth again after 6 synodic months. In both positions, the Moon is hidden behind the Earth, creating a full Moon phase. In this way, the synodic month is the time it takes between two consecutive phases, which is slightly longer than the time it takes to revolve around the Earth and return to the same angle, here, pi over 4. With respect to the Sun. Well, is it with respect to the Sun? Because it's with respect to everything, right? In this particular axis here. I mean, I can show the visualization again. CD projects, Computus. Oh, that's not it. Simuleos. What am I looking for? Computus, I think. Yep. LS, VI, Gauss, viz.cpp. Move down here. I'm going to show what we have right now for the synodic scene. It's going to be updated, but this is what we have. So yeah, I should be able to just run this, I think. Yep. And then we run Gauss visualization. The time to return to the same angle would be the sidereal month. Right. I just didn't want to confuse people with, like... Honestly, I think I might help to draw 2 arrows showing the local coordinate system of Earth. Right, so let's just show what I have. I'm going to... Oh, one second. This is going to turn into an image, but I have an animation of it right now. So let's just do mpv temp video.mp4. So here, of course, we have the Sun, the Moon, and the Earth. We just move up a bit, and then we have these guys, and then we have a line connecting them. So I need to change the line to be gray so it's a bit easier to see. But yeah, we just have a line that's like boom, boom. Honestly, I think it might help to draw 2 arrows showing the local coordinate system of Earth. It's going to rotate as the Earth orbits. The angle required is with respect to the coordinate system rather than what we see with the Sun. Right, but what I'm arguing is this coordinate system is fixed in this diagram. So I think it should be kind of obvious. I think it should be kind of obvious. I mean, I could draw an angle here, like negative pi over 4. Like I could just go and draw like a negative pi over 4. I'll try and do a mock-up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, do a mock-up and we'll see. Right now, I'm just going to go with this visualization. And I think what we have down is okay for that visualization. Okay. Let me go ahead and write this and we'll take a look at the algorithm archive after that. Okay. There is some information that's repeated twice in this article, just for the record, but we'll talk about that later. Each synodic month is approximately 29.5 days, so a synodic year of 12 lunar months is 354 days, which is 11 days shorter than the normal 365 days in a Gregorian year. And let me just capitalize all the Earths and stuff. Earth. I'll just capitalize all the Earths and suns and moons. Why not? Earth. Oh, I'm just capitalizing. Okay. Yep, and let's capitalize, I guess. I feel like moon shouldn't be capitalized. Anytime I say the Earth. Yeah, no, I'm doing this wrong. Anytime it's the Earth, that should be a lowercase e. But if it's just the moon and Earth, yeah. Let me see this again. And the Earth, yeah. So that should be lowercase if I remember my English. Right, because that's no longer a proper noun. The Earth rotation. The Earth. Okay, that should be right. Okay. It's a proper noun because you're referring to the Earth, as opposed to, say, moons of Jupiter. No, but if we just, if I say the Earth, it's, okay. That should be lowercase. I'm pretty sure. I guess surely there's a the Earth in this article. Okay, maybe you're right. Okay. The Earth. Okay, they're super inconsistent. Wait. Originally, Earth was written in lowercase, and for many early Middle English, its definite sense as the globe was expressed as the Earth. By early modern English, many nouns were capitalized, and the Earth became, and often remained, the Earth, capital E, particularly when referenced along with other heavenly bodies. But the moon is always lowercase. I'm pretty sure the moon is lowercase. Okay, there's a moon. Let's just see what it says. Moon. Okay, this is probably not. Yeah, let's just, the moon. No, the moon is capital as well. Okay, I guess. Fine. Okay. Let's fix that again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm bad. Okay, then we'll do moon. And again, this is capital. I'm super surprised it's capital, though. I'm just fixing them all. It should be fine. No way that's right. No, there's no way this is right. A partial full moon is lowercase m. Has to be. Full moon. Welcome to Simuleos, the channel where we bicker about English. Oh, is it actually capital? Maybe. No, this one's lowercase. Oh no. No, these are. The Earth and the Earth is what the former is referring to. The ground, soil, whatever. The latter is unambiguously the planet. Okay, fair enough. Like the Earth, on the Earth is the Earth. Yeah, right. In the case of the phrase full moon, as a phrase, I feel like it shouldn't be capitalized. Yeah, I'm just going to not capitalize full moon, but I'm going to capitalize any moon. So let's just look for any full. Let's just, I'm just going to search and replace. Full moon, replace it with, full moon, CG, full moon, yep. Yeah, Hunter's moon. Oh, full moon, yep. Jewish full moon, yep. Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. And also I'm gonna look for pink moon. And I think I'm just gonna capitalize this. This. And that. And did I decide? I'm gonna capitalize Paschal as well. Because, now I'm, should Paschal full moon be all capital? Oh man. I think I'll go because my internet connection is not stable enough to handle stream even at 360p. Oh boy. I do have quality options, right? Just making sure. Yeah, I do have quality options. You could try 160p. I feel like generality is good as a rule, since moons other than the moon can have full moons. Right. That's true. Let me go ahead and check something over here. Okay. We will... Should the Paschal full moon... I feel Paschal full moon should be all caps. That's what I feel. I'm just going to fully caps it. And we're just going to... Wikipedia uses lowercase. Crap. Paschal... Okay. If... It's unwatchable. Okay. See, Amaras, thank you so much for coming in. Have a wonderful evening. And hopefully I'll see you around next time. Maybe it's not evening, but hopefully I'll see you around next time. Ecclesiastical full moon. Okay, let's just uncapitalize all these guys then. Okay. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave those caps, and then we'll have Paschal full moon all lowercase. That's what I'm gonna stick with for now. And then we can bicker about that later. You know what would be useful for this? Yes, what would be useful for this? Okay. Let me go back to computers, and actually let's just write this. Let it recompile. Oh, this is taking a lot longer than I thought. We might not be able to finish everything, which sucks. We can finish everything if I just focus. That's what we got to do. Okay. As a final note, what do we have here? Right. Because the synodic month and the solar year are not synchronized, the phase of the moon will be different on the same day of the Gregorian year. Right. That said, the lunar and solar calendars will resynchronize roughly every 19 years. For example, if there is a new moon on January 1st, 2020, there will not be a new moon on January 1st, 2021. However, there will be a new moon on January 1st, 2039. Right. Okay, like that. Okay. Yeah, I think that makes a bit sense. A bit of sense. I think that makes sense. Wow. Okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing very well today. This 19-year cycle where the moon and sun, capitalize all the suns. We'll just capitalize that. Yep. Nope. Okay, we're gonna keep going. It's taking a while, but hey, I'm happy you guys are here and hanging out and enjoying the time. Even though, yeah, we might just be doing a lot of revision today, I'm still happy you're here. Okay. So, right. Where are we? This 19-year cycle where the moon and sun are waiting to resynchronize is known as the Metonic cycle, and has been studied for centuries. The following is a pictorial representation of this. Oh, I see. I know what image I'm going to go for. Okay, I understand now. Here we see the sun at the center with the earth and moon starting, let's see, starting the year at negative 45 degrees from the body that they're revolving around. So here we're going to do, nope, let's keep going down, add image. Starting the year at an angle of, frac. I think I need a negative here. Pi over 4. From the horizontal axis, we'll say. Yeah, we'll say horizontal axis. Let's see, what do we have here? Where can I sell my simpler games? Games that are too simple for Steam, but a place where people buy games, not like itch. What I do is to make them for Android, but there must be a place to sell them on PC too. Gotta be honest, man, I know nothing about games. This is definitely not the stream to talk about games on, just because, I mean, people here might know. There's definitely people probably in the chat who might know more, but I'm not a guy who understands the gaming ecosystem, nor can I tell you what to do with that information. I'm so sorry. Feel free to go to another stream and chat about that. I'm sure there's places, I just don't know. I don't know. Like, of all the streams to pick, this is a weird one to ask about gaming on. So it depends on your definition of simple. Okay. From the horizontal axis, we'll say. I think that's fine. The Earth and Moon are initially shown in gray with an A at their center. As an outline. So the initial location of the Earth and Moon are initially shown as an outline with an A at their center. After a full synodic lunar year, and we'll say that's 12 lunar months. Oh, hello. 12 lunar months. The Earth and Moon have been frozen Another outline is shown. The Earth and Moon are shown. Shown at position B, and for a full Gregorian year, they're shown in position C. They are shown in position C. Yeah, that's fine. An arc is then drawn, showing the difference of 11 days between the Earth's position after a full synodic year, and another arc is drawn showing the difference between the Moon's position after a full Gregorian year. Right. Something like this. Right. I think that's fine. What do we have here? But people who know games don't know ecosystems. It's like games for gold. It's like games like Gold Miner. I don't know what that game is, but more modern. I was going to link something, but it's too long for Twitch. Oh, never mind. It's just Google being typical self. Ooh, boy. Let's try that. I'm not doing an astrophysical simulation. If you look at the stream title, I'm literally just calculating the date of Easter. What is this? Ngram viewer. Oh, nice. What? I don't... 1840, 1841. So this is a year along the x-axis. And what are these percentages? 1870. Oh. Google Trends for what's capital and what's not. So we're doing the blue trend. Where are we? We're in the year 2000, which means it looks like the red trend is the most common trend for being Paschal capital, but full moon being lowercase. These times are correlated. I see. Easter is April 12th. Correct. Not Google Trends. Google didn't exist in the 1800s. Right. Okay, fine. Google Books Trends then, right? Right. So, Ornog Live 4, and anyone who might be here who wasn't watching the stream before this, the calculation of the date of Easter is actually a significantly complicated calculation. So it requires syncing the lunar year and the solar year, and it is significantly difficult to understand just from a theoretical standpoint. It's one of those problems that has fundamentally pushed the boundary of human knowledge for centuries, if not millennia. It's really, really cool. Right, I realize that this year it's April 12th. Next year, though, it's not April 12th. The next year, it's going to be, I don't know when it is next year. So let's go CD into projects, Simuleos, Computus. Let's do, I don't know, Julia, Gauss, Easter.jl, and we include, actually, let's just do Julia. And then we're going to do include Gauss Easter. .jl, and it should be that if I just type in Computus, oh, that's returning D. Crap. VI Gauss Easter. Return. Let's have it return a string here. Okay. Julia, include Computus for, we'll do 2021. So for 2021, it's going to be the 4th of April. For 2022, it's the 17th of April. 2023, it's the 9th of April, so on and so forth. So like there is no pattern here really. It's hard to discern a pattern here is the point, because it's a combination of a bunch of very complicated calendars, and as such, it's an interesting thing to look at and study. Can't you just use the Hebrew calendar? It works on the moon, right? So that's the problem, right? Like we aren't on the Hebrew calendar, right? We're on the Gregorian calendar, which is a solar calendar of 365.2425 days, roughly. And because of that, syncing the lunar calendar to the solar calendar is actually a complicated process. So this is something that like, Gauss, like the Frederick Gauss, like one of the most intelligent mathematicians who have ever lived, significantly struggled figuring this out. And it's really cool. Like when you look at the elegance of this calculation, it's actually really interesting. In a broader sense, you're probably asking, why are we doing this? Why are we looking at this algorithm to begin with? And it's simply because we run a website called the Arcane Algorithm Archive. And the point of this website is to teach arcane algorithms. That's kind of the whole point. Some of them aren't so arcane, but some of them are. And this is one of the more arcane ones. It's just interesting. It's fun. Like, this whole stream is revolved around just learning interesting algorithms and methods and stuff like that. If that sounds interesting, cool. I'm glad you're here. If that doesn't sound interesting, cool. I'm glad you're here. Also, fun fact, the resulting quantum blow up around the 1920s as it went from being a Latin word to being about quantum mechanics. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's actually super interesting when you think about it, right? Because quantum, before quantum mechanics, was like the smallest unit of available object, whatever that object is. You could have like a quantum of pigs, which would be like a single pig or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different than quantum mechanics. That's super interesting. I never really think about that. Okay. So where are we then? We are here. Okay. And what I said, the following is a pictorial representation of the offset between, yes, the following is a pictorial representation of the offset between a full lunar year, between a solar and lunar year. There. Let's see. How's the date of Easter determined? I mean, not by calculations. How does a priest know it? I mean, are there any indication, like the first Sunday of something? Right, so Easter is held the first Sunday after the first full moon of Easter, right? So they actually use algorithms like this to determine it. As of like 300 AD or before 300 AD, the Pope just came out and said, yo, dog, the date of Easter is now. But then after, the church got bigger, it ended up being that it was harder and harder for the Pope to say, Easter is going to happen on this date. So they required algorithms and methods to determine when that date would be. And it's always the Sunday after the Paschal full moon. It's just a question of when is that full moon, right? And so, for a century, again, millennia, it wasn't until like 1800 really that people had a stable algorithm for this computation. And so they actually use this method. So if you stick along and you listen a bit more, you'll see the method that people use. And so, yeah, I hope you're interested. It's calculated. I made an algorithm. I looked at Stellar Automata, like Game of Life, and wrote something like it, which is more complicated, with much more complicated rules, and it became super interesting. Right, all that kind of stuff is super cool. It was also harder and harder to say that the Pope is a religious authority in your denomination. Correct, right? But that's another issue entirely. Okay, I think that's fine. So what we have so far. As a final note, there is a small offset in the Metonic cycle of 1 hour and 45 minutes every 19 years. Every 19 years. So in 2,500 years, it'll be 8 days off. With this in mind, we should be able to start discussing the algorithm itself. Puffgrape, thank you so much for following. Also, First at Birth, thanks for following as well. I heart Gauss. Gauss is amazing, right? Like, if there was such a thing, like, okay, I was thinking about creating an anime series the other day where instead of having like superheroes, you have like mathematicians, Okay, now that I say it out loud, that sounds really dumb. Ignore me. Imagine being a conquistador and wanting to celebrate Easter while on the hunt for El Dorado. Would be cool for us nerds. You gotta have an algorithm. Okay. Trash Talk didn't... Okay. There are plenty of dumb animes out there. Sounds super nerdy. Okay, so here we start talking about the algorithm. Yours would at least have substance. Oh, Folster, hey. I was thinking, okay, so just imagine, like there's so many cool people, like Maxwell, Gauss, oh boy, oh crap, what's his name? KBT, shoot, what is his name? KBT. Who is the guy? Ideal gas law guy. No, it's not ideal gas law. Ideal gas law. No, he's like fundamental to thermodynamics. What is his name? Holy crap. No, not Boyle. He had his own tombstone. Like he's most known for his tombstone, where it had his famous formula, I think NV equals KBT. Something like this. It had a what is his name? It's not Avogadro. He had his own tombstone. No. Like NV equals PR. No. It's KBT. It's Maxwell Boltzmann. Boltzmann? Maybe it's Boltzmann. This guy. Oh, it has to be Boltzmann. I'm pretty sure it's... Yeah, Ludwig Boltzmann. This guy. He would be the Sasuke of our anime. Oh, boy. Yeah, okay, maybe you guys don't know who Boltzmann is. Boltzmann is like one of the founders of thermodynamics. He was a guy who came up with this right here. Statistical entropy. S is equal to K log W. And I'm thinking KBT because KB is Boltzmann's constant. So that's what I was thinking of. So S equals K log W. This was his definition of entropy, right? And no one believed him. No one believed that his theory of thermodynamics actually made sense. Everyone else thought of it remarkably different during his time. But he came up with this idea, and he's like, I'm sticking to this idea. And he was so fond of this idea that he put it on his tombstone, right? And at the time that he died, everyone thought that he was wrong. No one believed him, but he was right. And it's so cool. It's so cool because, like, people, the story goes that he was, like, one of his contenders, one of his contemporaries that just never believed him, had to walk by this tombstone every day and just look at that formula. I don't know. Like, yeah, it is sad that how he died and everything, but like, man, oh man, this guy, like, he's so cool. Like, there's just so many cool people, you know? Like, I don't know. Let me go ahead and catch up. Avogadro Boiler, Euler ruined my life. Get William Rowan Hamilton, had his own tombstone, N equals PRT, Calvin, Lord Kelvin. Euler did stupidly specific stuff that I had to remember. Oh, I like Euler, though. He's amazing. Like, Euler graph sounds rough. His shoulders makes no sense. Right. So his shoulders were, I mean, oh, what's the... Pigpen? Spider-Man. No. What's the guy's name? There's that villain in Spider-Man that has really broad shoulders. Nope. No, that's not it. Oh gosh. He starred in the animated film. What's the guy's name? Kingpin. Probably Kingpin. Come on. Yeah, this guy. That's that's who I was looking for. Those are some shoulder pads. He was right there. So that must be what Boltzmann actually looked like, right there. Now let me get some water. Okay, so now we're gonna start talking about the actual algorithm. I am actually. Oh man, there's gonna be a lot of work to be done tomorrow, but we'll see where we get. Okay, computers, we're gonna start talking about the actual algorithm here. There's some bit of information that I repeated twice. I think I'm actually gonna remove some stuff from the background here really quick. Here we're gonna say, so because Easter is the Sunday following the Paschal full moon, which is the first full moon of spring, Gauss's algorithm is composed of Gauss's algorithm finds a way to determine the how do I put this? Map the lunar calendar to the Gregorian solar calendar. To start, we need to discuss the interactions. Let's see. Because Easter is a Sunday following the Paschal full moon, which is the first full moon of spring, Gauss's algorithm needs to find a way, or is tasked at finding a way, to map... It's tasked at finding a way to map the lunar calendar to the Gregorian solar calendar. So to start, so to start the discussion, we need to introduce both of these, starting with the Gregorian. I don't know. Is there a world record in calculating Easter? The farthest date ever calculated? So apparently there's a 5 million. It's interesting. I'm just not putting it in the algorithm archive article right now. But there is apparently a 5,700,000 year cycle for Easter. Here it is right here. And so you see here are all of the dates of Easter over this 5,700,000 year cycle. And you see there's a peak on the 19th here and a slight peak on the 18th. And there's reasons for this that we can talk about. It's actually super interesting. There's a lot of interesting things here. Yeah. Anyway. Right. So let's go ahead and close that, that. And there we are, back to where we started. Okay. Because Easter is the Sunday following the paschal full moon, which is the first full moon of spring, Gauss's algorithm is tasked at finding a way to map the lunar calendar to the Gregorian solar one. To start this discussion, we'll do so is a connective phrase, right? Like we can use so. I usually use and or. If that's a distribution for Easter and Gauss found a way to computing Easter, does that make it a Gaussian distribution? It is maybe a Gaussian distribution, right? Okay, so for this reason, I guess for this reason, before discussing the algorithm itself, we must first introduce both calendar systems. $. Okay, that should do, I think. Misspelled algorithm. Okay. Right, so let's go down to the algorithm here. I apparently use the word a lot in the algorithm archive, surprisingly. Okay. So, let's go ahead. What happened here? Why is it not building anymore? Interesting. Right. I guess it's building now. I don't know why I just stopped. Okay. So it should build, and then we'll start talking about the algorithm. I am now drastically lowering my expectations of today's stream, which kind of sucks. So I'm not... Okay. What should I do? I'm going to get through this chapter at the very least. That's what I'm going to do. And then what I will do is I will write the script and do all of the video editing tomorrow. So I have the video ready. And then on the trip down to Alabama, when I'm not driving, because my friend can drive sometimes, I'll finish up the text for the chapter, the images for the chapter, which is the last thing we'll need to do. Right. And then the video can come out this week. Dang it, it needs to come out this week. Definitely needs to come out this week. Maybe Monday evening is what I'll shoot for. I don't know. This is going to be tough. Like, really tough. Okay. So what do we have here? The algorithm. As alluded to in Gauss's quote above, the Easter algorithm is closer to a set of formulas than an algorithm used to compute anything on a modern computer. It's closer to... There we go. The Easter algorithm is closer to a set of formulas than a more traditional modern method used to compute anything. We'll say then a method used to compute anything on a modern computer. This is in part because of bad software engineering by Gauss, and in part because computers didn't really exist at that point. Considering this method was literally called computus, I guess there wasn't much... There probably wasn't. There probably was not. There probably was not much to compute at all at the time. There was probably not much to compute at all at the time. Yeah, all at... Oh my gosh. There we go. I'm getting some notes. Okay, it's fine. Nowadays, you can more easily find the date of Easter with loops and conditionals, but this is the arcane algorithm archive, and this is definitely an arcane algorithm, so let's go. For this section, we will be following similar notation to Gauss's original 1800. similar to Gauss's original 1800 work. Similar to what Gauss used, to Gauss's in his original 1800 work, which is a bit terse and hard to follow. However, each term is significantly meaningful. If you're reading this and you think you have a better way to present any of this, please let us know with an issue or pull request on GitHub, and we will correct the text. And we can correct the text. This method can be split into two parts. One, calculating the date from March 21st to the next full moon, and two, calculating the days from the full moon to the next Sunday. Let's see. You're actually writing an algorithm archive chapter? Are you writing a paper here? No, we're writing the next chapter of the algorithm archive. We've gotten pretty far. I'm pretty happy with it. So let's just scroll up to the top. We still have to add the images, but the text should hopefully be done by the end of today's stream. So this is what we've got so far. It is a lot of text, but I'm actually really happy with it so far. I think it reads pretty nice, and we're getting to the part that I actually have questions about. Isn't this the first one in over a year? No, that's not true. I made one just a few months ago. It was on plotting. Look at this one. It took me forever. Months making this one. And I know what you're thinking. Plotting isn't an algorithm, but you know, like it's significant for people to use the algorithm archive. They need it. So yeah. Okay, good times. Let's go back to computers. But no, so a video should be out on Monday. Like I'm convinced we can get this video out soon. Okay. So the first part, calculating the date of the next full moon. Okay, so let's get through this. And there's one part that I'm very interested. I'm very interested in working with. Oh, I'm very interested in figuring out. I just don't know fully. Sorry I wasn't able to stay for long today, but I dig your channel. Looking forward to the YouTube video. Right, if you haven't already, please feel free to follow me on YouTube as well. We recently hit... is Botuleos down? Botuleos might be down. Let me just go to YouTube, youtube.com/leosos, and let's just drop this down over here. There you go. Pretend I'm the bot today. You know, I'm the bot. I'm just doing Botuleos' commands. It's fine. But yeah, so we recently hit 64,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is it's no small feat. I'm pretty happy with that. And we will, I want to grow it. I really do. I've been realizing slowly and surely that I genuinely want to find a way to be an independent researcher, and this is genuinely a way to do it. So I want to try it, and we'll see how it goes. Considering there hasn't been a video since, please don't say it. I'm gonna like, if you say it, I'm going to like block your. Okay, I'm gonna have to block that message you just did there, Vexatos. No, I'm kidding. It's been December. It's been a long time. Hey, Martin, how are you? Okay. Calculating the date of the next full moon. To start, we'll be calculating... I don't know why I have to do that. To start, we'll be calculating D, which is the number of days since March 21st, the first day of the spring, according to the Pope. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Let's try this one again. To start, we'll be calculating D, which is the number of days since March 21st. To the next full moon. From March 21st. There we go. The first day of spring. Fine. To calculate this, we need to first calculate the number, To calculate this, we need to first calculate a number of auxiliary variables, starting with the current year's location on the Metonic calendar. A is year mod 19, where the percentage sign is a modulo operator, and 19 is the length of the Metonic calendar in years. From here, we also need to calculate an offset to A, and for this, we need to know the century index, where this is a flooring operation of rounding the value down to the nearest integer. This allows us to calculate the shift in the Metonic cycle to be the following. P is equal to 13 plus 8k over 25. This expression represents the fact that the Metonic cycle will be 8 days off every 2,500 years and adds an additional offset of 13 to ensure the Metonic cycle aligns with empirical observation. At this point, we know what year we are at on the Metonic calendar and have calculated offsets accordingly. However, we have yet to take into account leap years. Okay, so this is the part I think I'm doing actually wrong. I think I'm actually doing this wrong. I need to... Let's talk about that in just a second. So, okay. So what we've done so far is we've calculated K and we've calculated P. And I think this reads pretty clearly to say that P is an offset of A, which is correct. But there's yet another offset that we have to do, and that other offset is somehow related to leap days, but this is the part that I need help explaining a bit, and I'm going to explain what I need help explaining, because nothing I'm saying here is wrong. But it is not exactly correct. It's misleading. Let's see. Gosh darn, stream delay. The delay isn't bad. You should put all your streams on YouTube. This is good stuff. Yeah, it's actually up on YouTube. Oh, that's what Fulster just said, which is a different channel. It is, there's like a week. So basically, I'm a week off on the Simuleos YouTube channel. It's like the video that is up right now on Simuleos is like 5 days behind what's on Twitch. This is not exactly intentional, but it's just how it ended up. Yeah, so if you go to youtube.com, just go to my own channel, and then you can find the Simuleos YouTube channel here under featured channels. And then, yeah, so I have Gauss's Easter algorithm day 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's one guy, his name is Tim. He's commented on all the videos saying, he's commented on all of his videos, on all the videos being like, hey, great work. And it's like, okay, thanks, man. I don't know who Tim is, actually. I should, but I don't. Are you implying he's unreliable with his uploads? Man, I know, I'm so sorry. Look, between doing the thesis and so many, you guys know the situation. Don't make any more fun of me than needs to be had. Okay. Right. So again, we've calculated K, which is the century index. And actually I need to do something to K. Where's K? A is a year. This is that. And I need to change this to be text. There. Okay. Okay, so at this point, we know what year we are on the Metonic cycle and have calculated an offset accordingly. And have calculated an offset. Okay. Offset. Calculated an offset accordingly. However, we have yet to take into account leap years. As stated above, there are 97 leap days every 400 years. If one adds 25 leap days per century and subtracts K, they'll find 96 leap days. They'll only find 96 leap days in 400 years. If one adds 25 leap days per century and subtracts K, they will find 96 leap days every 400. They'll find 96 leap days every 400 years instead, which is a close approximation, but off by 1. This accounts for the fact that leap days are not celebrated on years that are multiples of 100. There is, however, an exception made for years that are multiples of 400, which is why Gauss calculated an additional variable p, which is the floor of k over 4. This means that 100 minus k minus q will provide the appropriate number of days every 400 years. After this is found, we can then calculate the sum of all offsets within a lunar month to be m, which is 15 minus p plus k minus q. Right. So let me, I screwed something up. There was a typo in there. Appropriate. Oh. Appropriate. Okay, so let me start talking about why what I just wrote. Actually, let me get further, and then I'm going to talk about why what I just wrote is actually not correct. And also, let me just do this and write that. Okay. So I just stated that M is the sum of all the offsets to the Metonic calendar, right? Which is fine. A sum of all offsets within a lunar month, right? So here we say 15 is an arbitrary offset. P is the days we are off from the metonic cycle, and K minus Q are leap days. The modulo 30 arithmetic constricts our calculation to be within a single synodic lunar month of approximately 30 days. All of this is still true. Everything I'm saying is still true. To be within. Okay? So then I say, with all this information, we can finally calculate the number of days from March 21st until the first full moon, as D is 19A plus M modulo 30. And I shouldn't have a times operation. I should just remove that. Okay? Again, the modulo 30 operation makes sense here because there's no way the next full moon could occur over 30 days from March 31st. At first glance, this is simply a calculation of A, where we are in the metonic cycle, with some offset M. This is true, but there's an additional multiplicative factor of 19. One might be tempted to wave this away by saying 19 is the number of years in the metonic cycle, so this makes sense. The truth is that 19 is a bit more complicated. This calculation is a calculation of days, not years. Every 12 months is roughly 350. Every 12 lunar months is roughly 354 days, which is 11 days shorter than 365. This means that every year in the metonic cycle will be 11 days behind. It just so happens that negative 11 modulo 30 is equal to 19. Thus, the 19a is a combination of this 11-day offset and the fact that we're using modulo 30 arithmetic. After 19 years, the lunar calendar will be a full 365 days off in the solar calendar. But again, we only care about the day offsets in this calculation. No one really keeps track of lunar years, just solar ones. So I showed the image above, showing that we're off by 11 days every lunar year. Every 12 lunar months is roughly 354 days. This means that every lunar year... Oh, hello. I will say the lunar phase will be 11 days behind. Okay, so here's the part that I don't believe with what I just said. I'm going to write this, and I'm going to talk about what I don't understand. And hopefully someone in chat can correct me, and we can have a discussion about this. So this D value here is 19a plus m, right? Modulo 30. And we say that this date right here is the number of days from March 21st until the first full moon. Okay, that's fair. Again, I said the modulo 30 here is some sort of value that helps us, keep our calculation within 30 days, because there's no way on planet Earth that, you could possibly have greater than 30, because the lunar phases are in a 30-day cycle, right? So it has to be less than 30. That makes sense. The 19a makes sense, right? Because, basically the 19a is accounting for the fact that every single year in your metonic cycle, your lunar cycle will be off by 11 days, right? So every day, every year you move forward in your metonic cycle, you have to subtract 11 days, right? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and m here is also an offset, right? So m here is an offset to the metonic date, right? Here's what I don't understand. Where do these leap days come in? Okay, let me try to explain this in another way, right? So my two questions are the following. This decalculation is the number of days from March 21st, right? But March 21st, there's no 21 in this or 22 in this calculation. How do we know this is 30 days from March 21st? My next question is, okay, this statement that k minus q, 100 minus k minus q will give you 97 is completely correct, right? This gives you the correct number of leap days. However, we don't care about leap days in this calculation of D. Why are we even looking at leap days in this calculation of D? What I'm trying to say is that P here is an offset to the metonic calendar. You're off by an hour and 15 minutes every 19 years. This is correcting for that offset, right? Okay. So that means P, M, P. This makes sense. But why do we have K minus Q in this computation? This is what I don't understand. And my guess, and this is what I can't confirm, my guess is that K minus Q is actually an operation that allows for us to find the date of spring, March 21st. And this is what I can't confirm. And I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody, but I can try to describe it in a bit of a cleaner way. This is where I'm actually kind of confused. And I didn't know I was confused until like 30 minutes before this stream. And then I realized, crap, this actually doesn't make as much sense as I thought it did. I'm going to get a quick sip of water, and then I'm going to try to describe this a bit cleaner. Describe the problem, the question that I have a bit cleaner. 1 second. I'm also looking at notifications on the side here. Okay. See you, Trash Talk. Thanks so much for coming in. Have a wonderful evening. Okay. Right. So again, none of the statements that I said here were incorrect. All of the statements I said were correct. Everything, like all the statements that I wrote into the algorithm archive are fine. So let's just go through this again. We have a value A, which tells us where we are on our Metonic calendar, right? The Metonic calendar is a 19-year cycle for which the lunar and solar phases are out of sync, right? So if you are, a new moon on January 1st, 2020, you will not have a new moon on January 1st until 2039. So 19 years later, then the phases will be in line again, right? Okay. P here is a calculation that determines an offset to the Metonic calendar, right? The Metonic calendar adds an hour and 15 minutes every 19 years, right? So this allows for us to take into account that additional element there. Okay, so between A and P, we've adequately taken into account everything we know about the Metonic calendar, right? So then, we have the Metonic calendar taken into account. So if we do 19A plus the M offset, modulo 30, where M is just 15 minus P, we should be fine. There shouldn't be anything we have to do with this. So I'm trying to figure out where the K minus Q comes in. So I guess, what is K minus Q? Right? What is this value that we're looking at here? And the other question is, how does D know that we're from March 21st? So those are my two questions that I'm trying to figure out. If anyone has like a deep understanding of celestial bodies and their movement around space and stuff like that, I would love to hear it. Because otherwise I'm a bit baffled at how D knows naturally that we're on March 21st, unless it's in this K minus Q calculation. So let me see if I can find something real quick. So let's find date of spring. We'll say date of spring equinox. I don't know. We'll put down 400. First day of spring. I'm just looking for a list of all the dates of the spring equinox. And we'll see what we got. So in the year 400, March was March 19th. Okay. First day of spring. Oh, time and date. Look at you. Timeanddate.com. All right. I'll buy that. Okay. So it looks like the the March equinox is March 19th, 20th, 19th, 20th, 19th, 20th. Right. It's always between the 19th and 20th. Okay. So if it's always between the 19th and 20th, let's see. If it's always between the 19th and 20th. Let's just do the calculation in our head really quick. What is K minus Q? What is K minus Q? Yeah, what is K minus Q for 400? That's going to be 3. Okay. P is going to be... Wait a minute. What? Oh, I screwed something up. My notation is wrong. This needs to be a Q. Oh, boy. Welcome to Simuleos, the channel where we just screw up math every day. It's literally I should just rename this channel to Guy Who Doesn't Know Math. .jl. That should be my new channel name. Okay, so we have, let's just do the calculation by hand. So P for the year 400 is going to be 13 plus 18. Let's just open up Julia. Let's just knock this out. I'm going to make it huge so you guys can see. And let's do it. So 13. The floor of 13 plus 8 times 4. Divide by 25. Put a parentheses in there. Parentheses in there. Ah, crap. I should have typed in Julia first. 1 second. Julia. Now we put that in there. And let's see what we got. So that's 1. Okay. So that would mean that we're minus, it's going to be 15 minus 1. And then it's going to be plus k minus q. So this would be 15 minus, it'll be 15 minus 2. So it'll be 13 modulo 30. Let's go into our computus algorithm and let's see what happens. Again, I'm just going to have it, I'll just make this huge. And, I don't know, I'll just put it up here and we'll just have it. We'll have it somewhere. That's not as big as I thought it would be. That's large. Let's make it huge. All right, bring it down here. We're going to cd into projects, simuleos, computus. Okay, L is here. Let's go into Julia. And actually, let me open up Gauss. What am I looking for here? Gauss Easter, JL. And I'm going to return D. I'm only returning D, which should be here. No, I'm going to yank and paste. I'm just returning D itself. Not even this mod 21 nonsense. This is just D. Okay, so now we're going to include Gauss Easter. And we're going to run computus on the date 400. And this will return 6, which is different than the calculation I just did. So let's see if we can get 6 from this. So we just said P is going to be 13 plus 8 times 4 over 25. We said K is going to be 4. And that's M. D is going to be 19 times A plus M. Right. So in this case then, I'm just an idiot. That's the problem. Okay. So in this case, I think M is going to be 13. Let's just do the whole calculation. Just make sure we got this right. So P is going to be 1. So it's 15 minus 1 plus 4 minus 1. Is that correct? Yes. So it's going to be 15 minus 1 plus 4 minus 1. So it's actually going to be 17. And if we do 19 times, now what's A again? A is going to be times 400 modulo, does this work? 19 plus 17. What do we have here? 36. And modulo 30 arithmetic, that's going to be 6. So that's the correct number. We have the right value here, which is great. Now the question is, what does M represent? Okay, what's 400 mod 19? That's going to give us 1. Then we multiply it by 19. Okay, that's fair. So if we multiply it by 19, that's going to give us an 11-day offset. Oh gosh, it's so complicated. I don't know how Gauss figured this out. So that's going to give us an 11-day offset. How do we know? I think this 15 here is doing more complicated things. I think it's not just an offset. I said it was an arbitrary offset, but I think that's where I'm wrong. And so you might think, okay, let me just go to computus on Wikipedia here, because I don't think it gave me a good description of this. And also our sketchy website also didn't do a good job of this, just for the record. I checked that as well. 19A in the constant M. Where's D in this calculation? D. So the first allowable date of Easter. Maybe it doesn't. I imagine you have extra motivation when it's to find out it's your birthday. Maybe. Gauss. I don't know. The legend says he doesn't know his birthday, but I don't actually know. So the first allowable date of Easter is 21 plus D plus 1, as Easter is to celebrate. So where's D calculated? K minus Q. M in the 19A plus M serves to have a correct starting point at the start of each century. It's determined by a calculation taking the number of leap days up until this century, where K inhibits a leap day every 100 years and Q reinstalls it every 400 years, yielding K minus Q as a total number of inhibitions to the pattern of leap day every 4 years. Thus, we add K minus Q to correct the leap days. Yep, that's fair. That never occurred. Oh, wait. Wait. The 19-year... Where is this? The expression 19A plus M, mod 30, repeats every 19 years within each century, as M is determined per century. The 19-year cycle has nothing to do with the 19 and 19A. That's correct. So the first part of it consists of determining the variable D, the number of days counting from March 21st for the closest following full moon to occur. The formula for D contains the term 19A and the constant M. A is a year's position in the 19-year lunar cycle, in which by assumption the moon's movement relative to the Earth repeats every 19 calendar years. In older times, 19 calendar years were equated to 235 lunar months of the Metonic cycle, which is remarkably close to, since 235 lunar months are approximately 39 days, and 19 years are on average 39 days. The expression 19A plus M mod 30 repeats every 19 years within each century, as M is determined per century. The 19-year cycle has nothing to do with the 19 and 19A. It's just a coincidence that another 19 appears. The 19 and 19A comes from correcting the mismatch between the calendar year and an integer number of lunar months. Okay? We know all that. A calendar year, non-leap year, has 365 days, and the closest you can come with an integer number of lunar months is 354 days. The difference is 11 days, which must be corrected for by moving the following year's occurrence of a full moon 11 days back. But in modulo 30 arithmetic, subtracting 11 is the same as adding 19, hence the addition of 19 for each year added 19A. I feel like that wasn't in this description when we started talking about this. Did someone... I want to take a look at the history of this article really quick. History. And we'll just go back down here. Was this changed just within the past week? The previous version was changed the 3rd of March 16th of March 2020. What was this? What was this change? Can we see this change? How do you see the changes on Wikipedia? Is it just highlighted? For any version listed below, click on this date to view it. For more help, let's click on, so I want to click on this date. I'm just going to scroll down. I'm going to read the section on computers, and we're going to see what happens. This, oh, where are we? Gauss's Easter algorithm. No, it was there. I just was bad at reading back then. Okay, fine. The M in 19A plus M serves to have the correct starting point at the start of each century. It is determined by a calculation taking the number of leap years up until that century, where K inhibits leap day every 100 years and Q reinstalls it every 400 years, yielding K minus Q as a total number of inhibitions to the pattern of leap days every 4 years. Thus, we add K minus Q to correct for the leap days that never occurred. P corrects for the number of lunar orbit. P corrects for the lunar orbit not being fully describable in integer terms. Right, so I already knew that. I knew that P was for the non-integerness of this. But I'm not convinced. What's the... Okay, I'll just keep reading. The range of days considered for the full moon to be determined... the range of days considered for the full moon to determine Easter are 21st March, the day of the ecclesiastical equinox of spring, to 19th of April. A 30-day range mirrored in the mod 30 arithmetic of the variable D and constant M, both of which can have integer values in the range of 0 to 29. Once D is determined, the number of days to add to March 21st. Yep, this is the number of days to add to March 21st. Why can't it be explained in integer terms? It's simply because if you describe it in integer terms, right? So the moon phases are in a 29.5 day loop. So basically, if you have a new moon, you'll have another new moon 29.5 days from that time. So it's already non-integer just in terms of days, right? But then when you add the fact that the solar calendar is 365.2425 days as well, that's also not integer. So what they're saying is you cannot describe the moon cycle in integer because it's not integer, and you can't describe the solar calendar in integer because it's not integer. So for the solar stuff, we add leap days and stuff like that to take into account that, it's not actually an integer number of days that we revolve around the sun. And for the lunar calendar, we have to do something similar. That's all it's saying. So the first allowable date of Easter is 21 plus D plus 1. As Easter is to celebrate the Sunday after the ecclesiastical full moon, that is, the full moon falls on Sunday, March 21st. Easter is to be celebrated 7 days after, while the full moon falls on Saturday, 21st March. Easter is following 22nd March. Okay. So the question is, where does March 21st come into this calculation? And it has to come in through M. There's no other way. It has to come in through M. So the 15 here must be what? What is 15? The 15 must be an offset to allow for us to more easily find whatever full moon we're looking for. So we're looking for the first full moon of spring, right? And we're looking for it in terms of what? We're looking for it in terms of solar days. Is that what we're looking for it in terms of? If that's so, then 15 minus P. 15 mod 30 is 15. Okay. So where would we get 15? We would get 15 if and only if, what's P here? Maybe, okay. So P here is 13 plus 8K over 25. If we're on year 0, right? So we have no K. A, again, this is just going to be 0 because 0 modulo 19 is 0, right? Yeah, it has to be, right? Okay, so now K is 0, P is 0, Q is 0, so M is just going to be 15 mod 30, right? A again is 0, so our D is going to be 15. Okay, so if our D is 15, that means we're 15 days from March 21st. Now that means that between this 15, that means this 15 here must be the number of days. So this is, okay, the 15 is actually an offset. I got it. I understand it now. So the 15 is the number of days. Has to be. So let me try this out. So I'm going to do Gaussian, I'm going to do compute this on year 0. 15. Good. Okay. So on year 0, the full moon is 15 days from March 21st. Okay? So that's fine. So 15 isn't an arbitrary offset. I have to change that. For 15 is an offset, indicating that the full moon on year 0 is 15 days from March 21st. Okay? So that's one question answered. I guess I can just leave that as a comma. Okay, so that's one question where the March 21st comes in. The next question is why we have to add and subtract this. Okay, so 15 minus P, that makes sense to me. But why do we have this minus K and Q? Abdullah2 _ thank you so much for following. Really appreciate it. Okay. So the 15 is there. So now where's the P and K and Q minus coming from? So before I said the P here is going to be an offset on the Metonic calendar, right? So it makes sense that we have to add P to this. No matter what, we're going to have to add P to this. Okay. So let's just think about values of P then. So after, what are we going to have to add here? So let's say we are on century 4, right? So we said on century 4, no, we'll say we're on year 200. Okay, so let's just redo our calculation for the year 200. So for the year 200, we will have, this should be correct. So we'll have 1.0 for our P calculation. Our K calculation will be 2, which means that which means that our M calculation, M, will be equal to 15 minus 1 for P, and then plus 2. So it'll be 16 modulo 30. But 16 modulo 30 is still 16. Okay, so then we have this value for M, which means that which means what? This is why I'm having trouble with this. Which means that on our 19-year cycle, this is telling us how many 19... Okay, so what I'm trying to figure out here, I know that the values of P and K and Q are like fighting each other. I know that. Hey, Greenie996, how are you? I just don't know how they're fighting each other, right? Because P should be constantly increasing. Here you go. Thanks. I think I understand what you're saying now. SVG. Right. Oh, how did you make this so quick? That's quite good. Yeah, that's quite good, man. Nice. Man, you made that super quick. Nice. I spent a few months monkeying around in SVGs dealing with D3.js. No, this is super good. Do we want to use this animation? Data visualization library. I like this animation. This is super good. It's just a matter of... Okay, I'm going to save this, just put it over here before my stream. I like that animation. It's really nice. And it's an SVG, so it means it's probably scalable. So we increase the size here. Yeah, no matter what, it's like super crisp and clean. Also, if you view the source, I use the right constant. How do you view the source? Oh, is this like actual view the source? Like, F11? Nope, that's not it. F10? Nope. What button do you press? What button do you press to view the source? F12. Okay, right. Right-click view source. Right-click view page source. I'm super impressed, man. So Easter was the 5th of April on year 0. It would be I'm not sure. It says 15 modulo 30. So if you do 22 plus, probably, yeah, that makes sense. It's something like that anyway. Yeah, man, that's super good. Jeez, I'm super impressed. I should just quit. You guys are way better at making animations. Animation during the animation for the Earth is 36.525. Nice. Nice. Exactly what you want. That's nice. Use this stored in 1 index arrays. I'm a big fan, man. Like, super good job. Number of days divided by 10. Man, that's super impressive. Should I just... Because I could just include this in the algorithm archive. And like, what I need to do is I need to show that... What do I need to show? Yeah, no, this is exactly what I want. Okay, I need to rethink about this, how I'm going to show this. But what would I say in the text? I would say that every time the moon aligns itself along one of the axes, I need to figure out how... I want to put this in the text. It's really nice. Obviously, I'll say thanks, Zadison, and all that kind of stuff. I just need to figure out how I'm going to write that. I'm still trying to figure out this PK and Q thing because I'm a noob and I'm really bad at life. So so 15 isn't an arbitrary offset. 15 is an offset that makes it so that make sure that our okay. So now we have minus p. So we have 15 minus p, and that's because every 19 years we're an hour and a half off. So why do we have to take into account leap days? We have to take into account leap days because could you illustrate the Earth's rotation too? You're talking about this visualization here. Right. Man, it's a really good visualization. Dang. Ah. Like it's super good. Okay, let's just bring this back. Okay, so it's going to be 19a plus m. We have minus p, and then k minus q modulo 30. No, right. I think everything I said here is correct. The k minus q takes into account leap days. P takes into account the change in the Metonic calendar. That's fine. But my question is now the following. If k minus q takes into account leap days, I don't understand how k minus q takes into account leap days, because the number of leap days will be 100 minus k minus q every 400 years. So where's the 100 in this calculation? Shouldn't there be like so in the year 400, k minus q is going to be 3, which is fine. But like, is this making sense? K minus q does take into account the number of leap days. What does it say over here? What did Wikipedia say? How did they get away with this? The m in 19a plus m serves to have the correct starting point at the start of each century. It's determined by a calculation taking the number of leap years up until that century where k inhibits a leap day every 100 years and q reinstalls it every 400 years. Yielding k minus q as a total number of inhibitions to the pattern of leap day every 4 years. Okay, I think I'm understanding it now. This 15 is an offset indicating that the full moon on multiples of 100 no, so 15 is an offset indicating that the full moon on indicating the correct offset. What are we talking about here? So what we're saying here is 15 is an offset indicating the full moon. 15, so right, so every 100 years, we're going to have to, indicating that the full moon on year 0, I think what I had before was correct, indicating that the full moon on year 0 is 15 days from March 31st. P is the days we are off from the Metonic cycle, and K minus Q are leap days. The values of P, K, and Q all provide century offsets, which means that the value of M will provide the correct starting point, the correct offset, starting point for each century. That kind of makes a bit more sense. I think this is what we're looking for, because really, K and Q will only update every 100 years, right? So because K is a century index, Q is a century index, P is determined by the century as well. This means that really all we're doing is we're calculating the correct offset every century. And so I think that's what we're doing here. This calculates the correct offset every century. Put together, when all of this is put together, M appropriately calculates, let's see, essentially the date of March 21st. Let's see, it's the expected date of the Paschal full moon. At the start of each century. Something like that. I think that's clear. So, okay, let me go ahead and read chat. There was no year, 0. The animation during the Earth is 300, yep. The number of days divided by 10 as seconds. Could you illustrate the Earth's rotation too? Hey GM, how are you? Cool, 18th century German math. That's exactly what we're working with. Hengstjon, thank you so much for following. Really appreciate it. That makes sense to me, and I know nothing. Cool. Okay, so if it makes sense to someone who knows nothing, similarly to me, then it should be fine. So here I'm writing where 15 is an offset, indicating that the full moon on year 0, that the full moon on, we'll say the hypothetical on, we'll just say year 0 is 15 days from March 21st. P is the days, is the number of days we're off from the number of days we are off from the Metonic cycle, and K minus Q are leap days. The values of P, K, and Q all provide century offsets, which means that the value of M will provide the correct starting point for each century. I missed that part yesterday, but was only here to say hello and see you next time. Oh, okay. Hello. See you next time. With all this information, we can finally calculate the number of days from March 21st until the first full moon as, okay, I'm happy enough with that text. I think I understand it a bit better now. So let's go ahead and finish up this chapter, and then that will be the end of today's stream. And then we'll work on updating the graphics and stuff next time. But I'm going to go back to Zadison's visualization there because it's super pro. And we need to talk about that as well. So here we say D is going to be 19A plus M modulo 30. Again, the modulo 30 operation makes sense here because there's no way the next full moon could occur over 30 days, a synodic lunar month from March 21st. I already said that paragraph. Every 12 lunar months is roughly 354 lunar. Oh, I already explained that as well. Regardless, now we have D, the number of days until the next full moon. Interestingly, this is all the information necessary to replicate Servois' table. Again, I'm definitely mispronounced. Servois' table. From here, we simply need to create a two-dimensional array with the decade on the y-axis and the year on the x-axis, and set within it the value of 21 plus d modulo 31, where 21 represents the 21st of March, and the modulo 31 comes from the fact that there are 31 days in March. For example, I forgot a period. Okay. For example, if we do this computation for the years 2000 to 2100, we would find the following table, which shows that the date of the Paschal full moon for 2020 is April 9th. Now we can move on to find the precise date of Easter, which should be the following Sunday. So I have another table to make. The Metonic cycle is actually a bit more straightforward to understand than what I first initially thought. Essentially, each lunar year, that is, the time it takes for one full moon to occur and then the next full moon to occur. So the time between two consecutive full moons is 29.5 days. The solar cycle is going to be 365.2425 days, right? So this means that if you have 12 lunar months, you're actually going to be 11 days off from 365, right? So the Metonic cycle is a 19-year cycle that basically it is 19 years between it's 19 years while these guys are out of sync. So it takes 19 years for these guys to resynchronize. So for example, if you have a new moon on January 1st, 2020, let's just say, you're not going to have a new moon on January 21st until 2039. It'll take 19 years until you have a new moon on that day, right? So that's the Metonic cycle. It's a cycle. It's the 19-year synchronization cycle between the solar and lunar calendars. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next part of the next of this algorithm, which is calculating the next Sunday. This calculation will take a few variables from the previous section, namely k minus q, the number of leap days, and d, the number of days since March 21st to the next full moon. For the last calculation, let's see, for the last calculation, we synchronize the number of days in a lunar month with the Gregorian solar calendar. For this computation, we do similar operations, but for the weekly calendar of 7 days. This value will be stored in E. The first step is calculating the number of days we are offset within a week due to leap days, which is just going to be n is equal to 4 plus k minus q modulo 7. There are 52 weeks in a year, but 52 times 7 is 364, meaning we are 1.2425 days off every year, with the exception of leap years where we're 2.2425 days off. Simply put, every year we should subtract 1 day of the week. But on leap years, we should subtract 2. To keep tabs on this, we need 2 separate counts. I should say we are, okay, this shouldn't be double precision computation. We are essentially 1 day off every year, with the exception of leap years where we're 2 days off. Okay, that should be fine, because we're doing integer arithmetic here. Simply put, every year we should subtract 1 day a week, but on leap years we should subtract 2. To keep tabs on this we need 2 separate counts. B is a year modulo 4, and C is year modulo 7, where B keeps track of if we are on a leap year, and C keeps track of our year, where B keeps track of leap years is what I should say. Leap years, and C keeps track of, and C keeps track of what? Oh, of the normal, one 1 day offset every year. Okay, and let me change this 1, 2. Okay. Through a bit of mathematical magic, we can find the expression 2b plus 4c, which will be -1 in modulo 7 arithmetic every year, except leap years, where it will be -2. Well, I'll just say, and c simply increments by 1 every year. That's what it does. Right. With all these put together, we can finally calculate the offset from the full moon to Easter Sunday as E is equal to 2b plus 4c plus 6d plus n modulo 7. Here, all the terms are described as above, and the multiplicative factor of 6 to d will provide an offset to Sunday without correcting for leap days. Okay? Wrapping up. At this point, we can calculate the days from March 21st to Easter to be d plus e. Finally, there are a few exceptions that are somewhat tricky to understand. I need to add these exceptions. So let's go ahead and add those exceptions there. Okay. And the exceptions will be at the end of... let me make this medium sized, and then we're gonna bring this over here. This song gets me every time. So we're gonna do this. Okay. So the exceptions here that we need to talk about are, let's see. What is this song? It's just a weird song. Like, okay. Let's see. So here we need to say, it's an if-then statement, but I haven't used any actual code at this point, which is why I didn't put it into the algorithm archive. I didn't put it into the chapter yet. I need to mathematically show an if-then statement, which I think I can just do as, I actually don't know how I want to do this. I think I want to create an array. How do I want to do this? So I need to create an array of 2 values. Do what shader programmers do and use a heaviside step function. Look, I feel like I could use that, couldn't I? What I'm trying to represent is the following. If d is equal to 29 and e is equal to 6, or if d is equal to 28 and e is equal to 6, and a is greater than 10. Unless you want just begin cases. Sorry for that. I could do begin. I could do begin. What am I actually looking for? So we're going to say E is going to be equal to E. How am I going to do this? I don't even know what I'm trying to draw here. Let's just do Zernal PP. Begin, aligned, end, aligned. Right. Maybe that's what I want. What am I actually looking for? So I want to say E. Oh, that's too blue. Let's try a different color. I want to say E is going to be equal to E, or E is going to be equal to E minus 1. And then I guess I want to say, what am I looking for here? Here I'm saying if D is equal to whatever. I don't know how to draw this. Like, I don't know what to put down mathematically. So I'm trying to represent an if-then statement. Conditionals, mathematical conditionals. Okay, let's see what images pop up here. Something like this, I think, is what I'm thinking of. So x is going to be equal to, yes, that's what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay. Yep. Okay. So let's do that. So let's see how I'm going to bring that over there, that over there. So E is going to be equal to, right. Oh, no, left. And then we're going to do this. And then we're going to do, I guess, right. But, there. All right, well, let's just see what this does. So we're going to say, can I do a begin align in here? I think I can. So we'll do begin align, and then we're going to do an end align. I probably need to do a begin equation. Maybe. And then end equation. I don't know what MathJax is capable of. So let's just check to see if this works. 5. We're just going to say E. And then we're just going to do, how about ampersand E? Okay. And then I think I have to do this. And then we're going to say ampersand. Where are we? Ampersand E minus 1, comma. And I think it's what, Q quad? Something like this. If. And then we put in all of our statements. And what are the statements going to be? The statements are going to be if D equals 29. And E equals 6. Or D equals 28. E equals 6. And A is greater than 10. I don't think this is going to work. Let's just see what this does. Because I've got a feeling this is just not going to... Is this compiling? It seems to do something. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I know there's an AS Math or similar package for that. So you said it's called Cases. Cases package. MathJax? I can logic packages to MathJax. Let's see. I feel like we've already done this before. Let me go to the Thomas algorithm. I think we did this in the Thomas algorithm. Right, that's what I'm looking for. Let's just do that. What did I put in the Thomas algorithm? Let's go to VI, and we'll go into Thomas, and then we'll look at Thomas algorithm.md, and we have left, right, begin, array, end array. Left, right, dot, begin align. Oh, it's exactly what I thought I just did, but I apparently didn't. Okay, so then I'm just mathematically an idiot. Am I just, do I need a, what? No, that seems fine. What? Left. Oh. Oh, okay. I got something wrong. Let's do left here. Maybe that's what I'm missing. Let's try that. And let's see what that looks like. I'm looking for computers down there at the bottom. Yep. Scroll over. Keep scrolling. And it is, I need F5. It is, come on. Still wrong. Okay. Are we allowed to put an ampersand at the start of a line? Maybe that's wrong. Ampersand here and ampersand here. Let me take a look at the Thomas algorithm one more time. Okay. Quit. CD. Oh. CD dot dot. CD dot dot. CD project algorithm archive. Content. And then Thomas algorithm. VI Thomas algorithm.md. Let me see what I got. Do you even need the equation environment? Apparently, maybe not. Maybe the equation environment's the thing that's killing me. Let's DD here and DD there. Could be, because I think that's the only difference I see, unless I'm a moron, which I mean, obviously I am. That's a side topic, you know, like it's not part of this current discussion. You know, that's something already innately understood. Okay, that seemed to work. E equals this. So let's go ahead and put those ampersands at the start. Thanks for that, by the way. I don't think I would have. I mean, I guess, yeah, I might have figured that out, but I really appreciate it. And let's just do text here. Text. Is this gonna work? It might not work. Text. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I'm not actually sure what this should look like. Text. And this should be A. See what that looks like? I think we need some spaces in here. Let's just see what it looks like after adding that in there. You're already in equation mode with the dollar signs? Right, I just thought, yes, I need some spaces in there. So let's just do, I'm going to do some tildes just for fun. Because, I mean, who doesn't like some tildes? Am I right? Oh, you there. That's not where I wanted the tilde. Let's try this one again. This is the dumbest way I think I've ever done. Yep. Yep. Something like that. I don't know. Right. Nah. This is the dumbest way I've ever written an equation in LaTeX, but hey, you know, I'm bad at LaTeX, so one day we'll get there. Tildes don't work in text mode? What? That's what tildes are. That's what? What? Weird. So tildes in LaTeX are just spaces. They're the size of a space. It's a character that literally means the size of a space. There's no way spaces work. Oh, well, let's see. I'm just seeing what happens. It's compiling, right? Okay. F5 there. Okay, maybe I didn't write. Maybe I have to Control C and rebuild it. Oh, yeah, I could do that. Right, I didn't think about that. Yep. Maybe I need... Oh, it's so weird. Why doesn't tilde work? That's incredible. Okay. So this should rebuild. It has rebuilt. F5. And, yep, just having spaces works. That's... Okay. Let's just add spaces then. Okay. There, and there. These conditions are placed on the output. Oh, output of D. And correspond to when when Easter falls on April. What are the actual days? I think it's 26th and 25th. 26th. 6th. Let's say if D equals 29. Or April 25th. Okay, let's add a th here. And we're just gonna if D equals 28. Let's see. In both these cases, we're subtracting 1 from E, which has the effect. In both these cases, we are subtracting 1. We are setting E. E equals E minus 1. Right. Which has the effect of removing a week from the date of Easter. For example, the 26th of an Easter that would be celebrated on the 26th would instead be celebrated on the 19th. Yeah, fine, fair enough. Let's see. Sales 7x underscore x. Thank you so much for following. Really appreciate it. Okay. To be D plus E. There's one other thing I have to show here. Quit. CD. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was 3 dots. Oh, why am I so bad at this? CD Simuleos. Computus here. VI Gauss. Easter. Right. Finally, there's a few exceptions that are somewhat tricky to understand. But I need to say, let's see. I guess I'll do a similar thing to what I just did. From here in particular. And I guess I'm just going to enter equation mode, similar to what I did just right here. And we're just going to do that. DD there. And we're going to say text Easter. Oh boy. That's incorrect. Is going to be equal to, let's just, I guess this is fine. It doesn't matter. Easter is going to be, and what am I going to do here? It will be, how am I going to do this? So it's going to be, oh, it's just going to be D plus 21 for something like this. Quad. Nope. It's going to be this. If, what am I looking for here? 22 plus D plus E is less than 31, less than or equal to 31. Something like this. This will be greater than. And I think less than or equal to, what is it? LEQ, I believe. And then D plus 21, and it's going to be D, oh, sorry, 22 D plus E plus 22. And this is going to be D plus E minus 9. Okay. In particular, Easter is going to be equal to this. Right. Then I have to do this. That said, there are a few exceptions. So this should compile. See what it looks like. And what I need to say is that there's one more thing I want to say. No, I think this is it. Yeah, that's it. This is it. So see, Easter is going to be D plus E. Oh, I need to do a few more things. D plus E. Where do I want to align these guys? I want to align them. April. I want to align them here. And there. And let's add this to a text environment. There and there. Oop. And let's do another text environment here. Okay. Right, that should look right. Remember that March 22nd. Would be the first day, possible day, to celebrate Easter. Because March 21st would be first possible Paschal. No, we'll say full moon of spring. Okay, something like this. And I guess I'm going to do all said. There are a few exceptions that are somewhat tricky to understand. These conditionals are placed on the output of D and correspond to an Easter. Right. Though the legend goes, the story is that these conditionals are placed on the output for historical reasons. But between you and me, I feel there is something, a more mathematical reason that I do not fully understand. After all, why is the correction for let's do D equals 28 only placed on the Easter date output on the second half of the Metonic cycle? If A is greater than 10. If you think you might have a better idea as to why these dates are corrected as such, please let us know. Okay? Change this there. Okay. The story is that these... Okay. That should be okay. So as mentioned, this particular algorithm, let me go ahead and right here. Oh, right here. And then we should have everything up to date except for example code, which I will have to put in a bit later. Oh man. Okay, I'll have to put it in a bit later. That's fine. Okay. As mentioned, this particular algorithm does not make use of any standard computational techniques. There are no loops, conditional, stacks, or queues. However, there can be no doubt that Gauss was a master of his craft. The sheer complexity of this calculation both baffles and astounds me, especially because this was done hundreds of years before computational thinking became commonplace. Sure, this can be done straightforwardly with a calculator, but it is no doubt an algorithm worth discussing and celebrating for its ingenuity at the time of creation. Example code, unlike many other chapters in the algorithm archive, this particular method can be described almost entirely by mathematical expressions. As such, it should be relatively straightforward to implement this in a number of different languages, and I heartily encourage you to do so. For now, we have the code outputting a tuple of D and E, so users can use this to calculate either the date of Easter or Servois table, depending on their use case. However, please modify the code however you wish. Okay, this is where I think I'm going to have to close today's stream. Right, so tomorrow, I guess what I'll do is I'll come back and I'm going to spend the whole day working on the next video, with the intention of spending my trip to... a bit of my time on my trip to Alabama focusing on finishing up the bits of this chapter. So the text for this chapter is almost entirely done. And we should go from there. Let's see, should that be at the time of its creation? Given the subject, creation might have two meaning. I'm not sure. Will you be flying back to Alabama? No, I'll be driving back, but I'm driving back with a coworker. So one last thing I want to do is a spell. -c and computus.md. I'm going to add that one. We're going to change it to 1. I'm going to add that one. Pass over, probably 1. Algorithmically, we're going to add that. Bn add famous. It's going to change to 1. That's just going to be added. Paschal is what I'm actually looking for, so 1. Ascension Day. I misspelled Ascension. We'll go with 1. Johann, I'm just gonna, I think that's his name. Maybe I misspelled Johann. It is just 1 N. Oh, it's 2 N's. Look at that guy. All right. 1, Delambra. I'm just gonna add that. Genius. Ah, crap. Servois, I'm gonna add that. Add that. Standish, synodic. Yeah, I need to add that. Frac, yep. Metonic. I want to change all metonics probably to capital M. And then we're going to add metonic. Change that to 1. Pilice is going to change to please. Request. GitHub is going to be added. Metonic is going to be changed. Change. Add. Change. Empirical. Misspelled it. Change. Servois. Add. Synchronized. I misspelled synchronized. Yep, definitely. Multiplicative. Crap. Add. Misspelled. Ingenuity. Implement. End references. Add. Okay, so this, let's just see what happens if... yeah, it should be rebuilding. I'm just going to make sure all the math is correct. And then I'll go ahead and commit what we have. Paschal, the CH is a hard K. Oh, is it? Pascal? It's a Pascal full moon? Let me go ahead and scroll down. I think this looks right. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to say that the text of this chapter is officially in rough draft mode. So you get status, git add... computus.md, and then we're going to do add literature.bib, git add code, Julia, Gauss Easter, Remove computer empty.back. Okay. Git status again. Git commit -m, adding rough draft of chapter. Need to add visuals and code. Okay. And we'll do git push. Git branch. Where am I? Git push. Origin. Computers. Has to be origin. Okay. I might create a work in progress PR for this. I'm not really sure. I'll think about that. Unfortunately, man, I'm always behind where I want to be. King Choco Milk, thank you so much for following. Okay, so I think I'm caught up. Let me catch up on chat. I forgot to ask, what do you think about this virus thing? I'll get to that in a second. I think Haskell, but like with a P. Oh, okay, fine, fair enough. Yep, okay, fine. I didn't realize that. Thank you so much. Pascal full moon is what we'll call it. As far as the virus thing is concerned, I guess I can check up on that. I didn't really talk about it too much today. I do usually start my stream a bit talking about it recently. But yeah, the virus thing sucks. It sucks for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people are out of a job. And I know most people have changed their habits because of it. I mean, the U.S. has literally, it's over twice as many cases as any other country. And there are over 1 million confirmed cases. Again, a quarter of them coming from the U.S. Now, again, you could argue that the U.S. is actually kind of the size of Europe and constitute and is, made up of a bunch of smaller states, kind of like Europe. So you could kind of compare the whole of the U.S. to the whole of Europe. If you wanted to, that might be a fair comparison. But even so, we're not doing too well. The U.S. now has more deaths in a day than Germany. Yeah, it's not too great. Or the number of cases per million. Isn't that because the U.S. has the ability to test? Yeah, it's ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous. But on the other hand, look, I am actually somewhat encouraged by the fact that so many people have stood up and said that we are willing to give away some of our freedoms for the greater good of humanity, you could say. Like, there's a lot of people who are probably not going to be too strongly affected by the virus if they get it, So, you guys staying at home, it doesn't actually mean too much for you guys, but it means a lot for people who would be, definitely dead if they get this virus, So, yeah, it sounds a bit like communism and more like socialism, but I think that says a lot about us as a civilization, So we'll see. Let's see. Hydra Gyoru Sangus, thank you so much for following. Really appreciate it. You want to check your travel plans to Alabama? Several states do have travel restrictions. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it in a bit. I'm not really sure. The travel restrictions might come on over the weekend. We'll see. Right, but I don't really have so much more to say except that it's a sucky situation. But we'll have to deal with it, and we can deal with it. It's just a matter of staying at home. If you've been affected by the virus, either you've lost your job or someone affected by it. I'm really sorry. But yeah, I figure so one of the best things I can do right now is just provide, a few hours a day where we can just chat about things that aren't related to the virus. Talk about, algorithms and stuff like that. So, Alma just got a stay in place by law mandate 3 hours ago. That kind of sucks. So that means I might not be able to travel to Alabama anymore. Okay, we'll see. I gotta figure it out. Anyway, guys, that is gonna be it for today. Let's see who's live on Twitch. We have Rocket Sage, Tail Foundry. I kind of like. Do you guys want to do Tail Foundry, a writing group? The love story. Okay. Tail Foundry is a really cool group. It's a really cool group of just YouTubers. I don't know. I think they're kind of cool. We could also do Tech People, Meteorologist Alive, CM Griffin, Callow Creation. Let me see what they. I feel like I really liked their stream last time I was on them. They're just doing creative stuff. They're doing writing, right? But I don't know. They're a cool group of people. So I think maybe we could do them. Pascal is pronounced like Pascal, by the way. The name Pascal comes from that word. Cool. Fair enough. That sounds interesting. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Let's go ahead and start this raid on Tail Foundry. Raid Tail Foundry. Right. Thank you guys The channel is follower, subscriber only chat. It's probably okay. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Have a wonderful day, night, afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time it happens to be your time. And I will see you guys around next time for the next episode of Simuleos. Should be tomorrow. Should be working on video stuff. Pretty excited for it. And I will see you guys then. Thanks again, guys. Bye. Oh, by the way, Philoj and Guber, thank you so much for following. Really appreciate it. All right, bye, guys.